Early click. 3, 2, 1. All right, time for Curiosity Chill. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Good time zone, friends. Thank you for joining us. Twice. I definitely think it's interesting. And I'm excited to learn more because I definitely don't know very much about it. But yeah. Oh, hello! Whoa!
Whoa!
Raiders!
Whoa, Raiders.
Wow! Meowco, thank you so much for that amazing raid. Welcome, everybody. You are just on time. We are learning about tarot cards today. This is our Curiosity Chill, where we poll on what we should study together. And last week, we chose tarot cards. So
That's right.
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome, and thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, what were you all up to on Meowco's channel? Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome. If you would like to let us know if you have ever had a tarot card reading, we currently have a poll up on the stream. So you can type 1 if you have had a tarot card reading, and 2 if you have not yet. You were doing an IRL stream in Belgium. Wow.
Oh, fun.
Grocery shopping. That sounds fun.
Yeah, whoa. Thank you guys all for being here. And Leslie Red Rhodey, thank you for being here for 24 months, 2 whole years. Thank you for all that support. Sophie Dot, thank you for being here for 2 months. And Alice, thank you for the 10. You guys are awesome news. It looks like not everybody, but a good amount. I'd say 37.9% is sufficient.
Yes.
All right. Well, today we are going to be studying the along on your own or read ahead.
All right. Here are some stock photos. So, you don't need the gift of clairvoyance to get a glimpse of tarot cards' popularity. For centuries, the illustrated cards have captivated people all over the world. First was just a fun game, and later as a fortune-telling tradition. Want to learn more about the magic of tarot cards? Here, we take a closer look at the unique practice, including its fascinating etymology, spellbinding history, and contemporary ritual. Why, yes we do. Let's dive in.
Etymology. The term tarot derives from tarocchi, an Italian word whose root taroc translates to foolishness. The word taroc was used in the 15th century when Trionfi, a 70-card game inspired by the theatrical festivals popular during the Italian Renaissance, known as Trionfo, emerged. Trionfi cards traditionally featured gilded decorations and hand-painted illustrations of personified and allegorical motifs. In the 16th century, the Fool joined this cast of characters, and the Trionfi game became known as Taroncho. Taronco? Tarocho? Help us out. I know we have some friends tuning in from Italy right now or speak Italian, so if you can help us with the pronunciation, we greatly appreciate it. Taroccio. And tarot, a term that eventually evolved into tarot in France.
Ooh. Enchanting evolution. Fun and games.
Fun and games.
I
I think a lot of you like games. Or at least you like fun. And if you like neither fun nor games, you are...
in the wrong place.
You are not that fun. All right. Here we go. Ooh, okay, I like this.
All right. Ooh. When the Trionfi cards emerged in Italy, they were used solely as entertainment. Each deck featured 4 suits: swords, batons, coins, and cups, as well as trumps, the cards that outranked all the others.
But now it means sore loser.
The trump motif carried from deck to deck with classical themes as popular choices. The earliest known glimpse of the game's rules is in a manuscript from the early 15th century, written by Martiano de Tartona, a chancellor and secretary to the Milanese Duke Filippo Maria Visconti. This text describes a deck with 60 cards, 44 featuring images of birds, such as the eagle, the turtle dove, the dove, and the phoenix, and 16 other cards adorned with portraits of Roman gods, such as Jupiter, Apollo, Mercury, Hercules, Juno, Neptune, Mars, Aeolus, Pallas, Diana, Vesta, Daphne, Venus, Bacchus, Ceres, and Cupid. As Tortana noted that every one of the gods, however, is above all the orders of birds and the ranks of kings, it is crystal clear that these 16 cards are the trumps.
All right, it is super important to identify. I mean, obviously the gods would be above the birds and the kings.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
that's awesome. Okay, look at these. These are beautiful. With the deck, players could carry out a series of tricks or rounds in which a card is dealt. Players would either offer a card of the same suit or a trump card, as Tortana described. But the gods are held to this law among themselves that who will be the first designated below, he should lead all the others following the sequence. At the end of each trick, or round, points would be tallied based on the designated value of the cards played. Okay, so, I mean, do you have any fans of, like, Star Wars CCG or Pokemon cards or, you know, anything like that? I'm seeing some early, you know,
Yeah.
card game influences here. While the number, aesthetic, and ranking of the cards can vary from deck to deck, something that's been in effect since Tortana's time, these rules remain in use today. Though, in the 18th century, the cards took on an occult life of their own. So the 18th century, I think, is where we're heading in now.
Magical transformation.
Yeah, fool, I choose you!
According to a manuscript written by an unknown source in 1750, the 62-card Tarocco Bolognese from the 15th century was among the first decks to be used as a means of fortune-telling. By the 1780s, people in France were assigning divine meanings to their decks as well, predominantly with the Tarot of Marseille, then the country's most popular playing card.
Ooh, has anybody ever been to Marseille? Or has anybody ever read The Count of Monte Cristo? And understand the connection there too? Hey, Ryan77, thank you for being here for 5 months in a row. We appreciate you. And Unprovidenced and Marky Sparky, thank you for the gift sub to Hell Angel Vero and Spicy. And River Janum is back for 2 whole years. Yo,
Nice.
Appreciate you being here. And Sports, thank you for the big cheers. Oh, starting a first playthrough of Detroit Become Human next week. That's exciting.
That sounds great.
Thank you guys for all of your hype. It's a lot of fun to have so many of you here today for our Curiosity Chill. We do these each Tuesday where we pick a different subject and study them together. And this week, of course, is tarot cards. And Anna's plea, thank you for being here for 2 months.
This movement was led by French occultist Jean-Baptiste Aliette, or Etelia, whose book Etelia, or A Way to Entertain Yourself with a Deck of Cards, unreliably linked the tarot to ancient Egyptian texts.
Oh.
So there's some unreliableness, but it's ancient Egyptian.
Yeah, but look at the art. I super dig it.
So here we have the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, and the Hierophant. All right. In 1789, Eliot produced a new deck of tarot cards intended solely for supernatural use. This deck comprised 78 cards organized into two categories, the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana.
The Major Arcana features 22 cards, each denoting an allegorical figure. The Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, Emperor, the Pope, the Hermit, the Hanged Man, the Lovers, the Devil, and the Fool. Or personification of an object. The Wheel of Fortune, the Chariot, the Tower, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, or the World, or an abstract concept such as strength, justice, judgment, temperance, and death. These cards are believed to hold the big secrets of spiritual self-awareness.
The Major Arcana features 4 suits: the suit of swords, the suit of batons, the suit of coins, and the suit of cups, of 14 cards each. Each suit, in turn, comprises 10 numbered cards and 4 court cards: the king, the queen, the knight, and the jack. These cards are believed to hold the small secrets of everyday life.
By the 20th century, tarot cards, particularly the Tarot of Marseille, were so entwined with the occult that the Tarot Nouveau, and Nouveau,
which means new.
The New Tarot, a deck solely used for playing rather than predicting, was creating. So we've got 2 different decks of cards coming along, right? One meant for playing the card game, and the other more associated with the occult and with these fortunes.
Fortune telling, yes.
Reading tarot cards.
Yes.
Hey, real quick, Kimmy Hazard, thank you for being here for 32 months. Can we get some serious mod love and some of that lovely lieutenant love? Appreciate you all being here. We've got a great team of Discord mods and Twitch mods who help us out, and our lieutenants. Thank you guys for being here with us on the stream.
And Charlie, the astronaut, thank you so much for that gift sub group hug.
Charlie.
We appreciate you.
And Patchwork Melody, thank you for the sub and welcome aboard. I see so many new followers coming in from that raid again. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
And Javeline7 Official, welcome back for 24 months, 2 whole years. Thank you for the support, friends.
All right, reading tarot cards. Today, the tarot continues to serve as both an ordinary card game and an occult ritual. While there are many ways to read tarot cards to tell one's fortune, a common approach is the 3-card spread. There are numerous variations of this method, including an easy technique that helps unlock and explain your past, present, and future.
Ooh.
Wanna give it a try?
I mean, we do have a deck of tarot cards.
We do.
It's somewhere in this room.
Yes, we do. We can also learn more about like the specific
tarot
cards.
All right, we're gonna follow along here, but
if you did have your tarot, a deck of tarot cards with you, what you would want to do is first shuffle the cards, then stack the deck, then pick the top 3 cards and place them in a row.
Okay.
Read the cards from left to right, using the cards' meaning to reveal secrets about your past, present, and future.
Ooh, interesting. You can try an online tarot card reading. Okay, cool. Maybe we can find one of those at the end of the stream and we can check it out together and see what we discover.
A group tarot card reading.
Yeah, I mean, I would also be interested to explore tarot cards a little more on one of our Zen Friday streams. We do relaxing streams in the Zen Garden, we call it, on Friday from 2 p.m. Pacific, which is about 4 hours later in the day than whatever time it is for you right now. And on the next stream, we're going to be painting up our birdhouse that we started painting and built on a previous stream. And maybe that could be something fun to play with in between.
Yeah.
And if you guys have ideas for low-key, curiosity, chill streams, Zen streams, just shout them out and let us know.
Ultimately, whether you want to take up tarot as a mystical hobby or as a means of having some superstitious fun, let this bit of history and quick contemporary ritual be your guides. So now we can learn about the individual
cards. Okay, so past, present, and future. We shuffle up the deck in the presence of the one we are doing a reading with.
Yes.
We are drawing the top 3 cards and laying them out left to right, signifying past. Present is the center card, and the future is the rightmost card. So this next link the moderators will share with you is, I'm gonna shrink it a little bit so we can see a little more.
This website is called Biddy Tarot, and it has a lot of information about tarot cards and how to use them. So if you're interested, this is a very good resource for you.
There we go. And thanks again to the mods for helping us get the link out to everybody if you want to read ahead or read later.
When you learn to read tarot, the best place to start is by learning the tarot card meanings. Discover what each tarot card means, including keywords, symbolism, and stories in the cards. These are my personal favorite tarot card meanings that I use every day in my tarot card readings, and now you, all of us, can use them too. Let the tarot card meanings be your guide, but not your gospel. There is no right or wrong meanings of the tarot cards. Sure, there are traditional interpretations of what the tarot cards mean, but they encourage you to trust your intuition and go with the meaning that feels right for you.
All right. We did an earlier Curiosity stream on dream interpretation, and something was really similar there, where we would be suggested various, kind of categories of meanings, and then you could follow down the rabbit hole, so to speak, to more specific, applicable meanings for you. Okay.
So I guess we could start with the major arcana.
Yeah, look, so we've got these 5 different categories, right? Major arcana, minor arcana of cups, swords, pentacles, and wands. Let's start with the major arcana.
Meanings of the major arcana tarot cards. The major arcana tarot cards represent the life lessons, karmic influences, and the big archetypical themes that are influencing your life and your soul's journey to enlightenment. The major arcana card meanings are deep and complex in beautiful ways. These tarot cards truly represent the structure of human consciousness and hold the keys to life lessons passed down through the ages.
Also known as the trump cards, the major arcana cards include 21 numbered cards and 1 unnumbered card, the Fool. And I see a few of you had recommended checking out the Fool's Journey, which is something we might look at the end of the stream if we have some time. The Fool is the main character of the major arcana and makes his journey through each of the cards, meeting new teachers and learning new life lessons along the way, and eventually reaching the completion of his journey with the World card. This is known as the Fool's Journey, here we are, and is a helpful way of understanding the storyline of the major arcana tarot card meanings. All right, so here we are.
Cool.
Sweet. Also worth mentioning that in Shakespeare, the Fool is largely considered the one who actually knows what's going on, the truth speaker, even though everyone in the play perceives them the Fool. Ooh, look at these beautiful gemstones.
Yeah.
What does a major arcana card mean in a tarot reading, Amelia?
When you see a major arcana card in a tarot reading, you are being called to reflect on the life lessons and themes that are currently being experienced at this time. A major arcana card will often set the scene for the entire tarot reading, with the other cards relating back to that core major arcana meaning.
What does it mean when a tarot card is mostly major arcana tarot cards?
Well,
or when a tarot reading is.
Yes. When a tarot reading is predominantly made up of major arcana cards, you are experiencing life-changing events that will have long-term effects. There are important lessons that you must pay attention to in order to progress further in your spiritual and personal quest. If many of the major arcana tarot cards are reversed, however, it may be a sign that you are not paying enough attention to these important life lessons, and you need to master the lesson before being able to move forward.
Ugh, ain't that the truth? Have you ever felt like that, where the world is presenting you a lesson and you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna learn that lesson, but you don't really learn it, you just sort of acknowledge it, and then... Again.
Yes.
Hey, Queen, thank you for being here for 11 months. We are so grateful for you, Kaio. And Jade, thank you for the big cheers. Happy time zone with a tarot pun for everyone. What did the psychic order as a side for their meal? Tarot tots. Brumps. Love it. I love a good pun, and I love a bad pun more. Major Arcana tarot card meanings. The Fool. Upright. So when we shuffle these cards, right, they could come upright or they could come reverse, so the whole image is upside down. Mm-hmm. Upright is beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, a free spirit. And if it's reversed when dealt, holding back, recklessness, and risk-taking. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so people can read there.
So if we want, we can also click on these to get a more in-depth thing, but maybe we start with just...
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do an overview first, and then we'll go in depth if you guys want to explore one a little bit more.
Yeah.
Did we get the bookshelf yet? Thank you for asking. We're hoping it's coming this weekend. But
There's been a lot of delays.
As you guys know, the world's a little upside down.
Yeah. Okay, the Magician. When the Magician is dealt upright, it can mean manifestation, resourcefulness, power, and inspired action. When reversed, could mean manipulation, poor planning, and untapped talents.
Oh, I think you should read The High Priestess because,
The High Priestess.
There it is.
Upright.
Attack the Titan!
Upright could mean intuition, sacred knowledge, divine feminine, and the subconscious mind. Reversed are secrets, disconnected from intuition, withdrawal, and silence.
Interesting. So I'm definitely seeing, the yin to the yang, right?
Yeah,
The up and the down. Caseface W, thank you for the sub, friend. Appreciate you being here. And Luke Lemon Art with the cheers. Appreciate you being here, Luke Lemon. Thank you guys all for joining us for today's Curiosity Chill. We do these each Tuesday. Oh, I think you should be the Empress, too.
Okay. I'll be the Empress. I'll be the Empress. Thank you, Bryan. Upright represents femininity, beauty, nature, nurturing, and abundance. Reversed could mean creative block and a dependence on others.
Yeah, so it's worth pointing out. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean if it's reversed that's like the negative or unlucky or bad. It's just sort of the opposite of the of the upright intentions. The Emperor. Upright, the Emperor means authority, establishment, structure, a father figure, and reversed, domination, excessive control, lack of discipline, inflexibility. And the Hierophant, or the Pope, upright is a spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, institutions, and reversed is your personal beliefs, your freedom, challenging the status quo, going deviant. Unprovidenced, thank you for the gift sub. That's very kind of you. Welcome aboard, Pistol. Oh,
The Lovers.
we have a tarot card of the Lovers as a little plaque.
We do. So upright, they represent love, harmony, relationships, value, alignment, and choices. Reversed represents self-love, disharmony, imbalance, misalignment of values.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. And Mariko, thank you for being here for 4 months. The Chariot. Upright The Chariot means control, willpower, success, action, determination. You want to be dealt the Chariot when playing Undertale.
Yes.
Reversed, it can mean self-discipline, opposition, or a lack of direction.
Yeah. Strength. Upright means strength, courage, persuasion, influence, and compassion. Reversed is inner strength, self-doubt, low energy, or raw emotion.
The Hermit. The Hermit can represent soul-searching, introspection, being alone, and your inner guidance. When reversed, isolation, loneliness, or withdrawal.
The Wheel of Fortune. Upright represents good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, and a turning point. Reversed could mean bad luck, a resistance to change, or breaking cycles.
And Justice. Upright, justice means fairness, truth, cause and effect, law. And reversed, unfairness, a lack of accountability, dishonesty.
The Hanged Man. Upright represents pause, surrender, letting go, and new perspectives. Reversed represents delays, resistance, stalling, and indecision.
I really like the design of all these cards, and I've seen so many different decks of tarot cards with so many different styles. Maybe that could be something cool to check out at the very end of the stream.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
some different.
There's so many.
Yeah,
Really
and I'm sure that maybe even some of you have your own tarot cards. Yeah.
Hey, Jacob Hill, thanks for cheering. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you. Death. Upright, death means endings, change, transformation, and transition. And reversed, a resistance to change, a personal transformation, or an inner purging.
Temperance. Upright, temperance represents balance, moderation, patience, and purpose, while reversed, it represents imbalance, excess, self-healing, and realignment. So the thing that's really cool about these cards that it said in the very beginning, which is this is not gospel, that you want to trust your intuition to understand which meanings apply to you and what they may mean for you.
The devil. Upright, the devil means your shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, or sexuality.
And reversed, it can mean releasing limiting beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, and detachment. The Tower, when upright, is sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, and awakening. And reversed, personal transformation, the fear of change, averting disaster.
The Star. Upright represents hope, faith, purpose, renewal, and spirituality. Reversed represents a lack of faith, despair, self-trust, and disconnection.
The Moon. You're my moon. Upright, the moon can represent illusion, fear, anxiety, subconscious, or intuition. Reversed, the release of fear, repressed emotion, inner confusion.
The Sun. Upright represents positivity, fun, warmth, success, and vitality. Reversed means inner child, feeling down, or overly optimistic. Judgment. Upright represents judgment, rebirth, inner calling, absolution. Reversed, self-doubt, inner critic, or ignoring the call.
Yeah. I see the question in chat from Just Deviate. What does inner child mean? Inner child is, your the self of you that remembers your childlike wonder, your playfulness, the things that we tend to lose or set aside as we age. So this would be kind of returning to an earlier point of view.
Yeah, it's an innocence and a curiosity is how I would describe my inner child. And the world. Upright represents completion, integration, accomplishment, and travel, while reversed means seeking personal closure, shortcuts, and delays.
Awesome. So let's maybe we go back a page and look at some of these other ones, the arcana of cups, pentacles, swords, and wands, or would you like to look at different decks?
Yeah, if you go down a little bit more, I think there might be here. I could talk about these a little bit. Okay, so the tarot deck comprises of 78 cards, each with its own imagery, symbolism, and story. The major 22 arcana cards, which we just read about, represents the life's karmic and spiritual lessons. They represent a path to spiritual self-awareness and depict various stages we encounter as we search for greater meaning and understanding. In this way, the major arcana cards hold deeply meaningful lessons on a soul level. Then there are the 56 minor arcana cards, which reflect the trials and tribulations that we experience on a daily basis. These tarot cards highlight the more practical aspects of life and can refer to current issues that have a temporary or minor influence.
Within the minor arcana cards, there are 16 tarot court cards, each representing 16 different personality characteristics we may choose to express at any given time. There are also 40 numbered cards organized into 4 suits: cups, pentacles, swords, and wands, each with 10 cards representing various situations that we encounter on the day-to-day. Some may say that tarot cards are simply ink on paper. However, what the author has discovered from reading the tarot cards daily for over 20 years is this: tarot is the storybook of our life, the mirror to our soul, and the key to our inner wisdom.
Every spiritual lesson we meet in our lives can be found in the 78 tarot cards. When we consult tarot, we'll get shown the exact lessons we need to learn and master to live an inspired life. It's like holding a mirror to yourself so that you can access your subconscious mind and tap into the wisdom and answers that lives in us all.
Nice. A good moment for reflection and consulting our own inner intuition. And Pomsky Rush, thank you very much for the gift sub to Phoenix.
Thanks.
And I see Ray Jeezy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you, Remy Fox. Thank you guys for following along. We appreciate you being here. So would you like to, we have about 15 minutes of the stream before we raid. Would you like to, my friends, we could do a poll, go into the minor arcana cards and their meanings, or look at other tarot art style and, explore? Let's check it out.
All right, let's do a poll.
Let's do a poll.
Yes, GuavaBot, it's important to remember that tarot is not a prediction, but an opportunity for self-reflection. Yes, I think that's important to note.
Here we go. Here's some options. Number 1 in the chat, if you'd like to look into these further minor arcana meanings. So we'll go into the deck of swords, wands, pentacles, and cups. Or if you'd like to look at different art on tarot decks, we could look at some different art styles and explore those as we go forward.
Yes.
And then maybe in the last little bit, I would be down to go to an online site and get a tarot reading, see what we derive from our intuition there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, looks like a lot of you are interested to see some different art on tarot decks. So that's interesting. I even saw some artwork people did of Detroit Become Human kind of tarot decks. That's pretty cool. All right. Give me just a split second to pull up another diddly-deep. You know, a diddly-deep.
A diddly-dee.
Diddly-deep.
Find us a diddly-dee, Bryan.
Also, can I just say, I'm totally digging this music. It's really working for me right now. You love the background music too, Clean
Yeah.
Duck? Thank you. I'm glad you do. All right. Tarot card. Wow. Oh my gosh. Pinterest. There are so many different. Oh, the Radical 600-year evolution of tarot card art. That could be cool. That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, look at these. Look at these tarot cards.
Woo.
All right, so this is on artsy.net. I'm going to share this with our mods too if they'd like to drop the link on you guys. Beep. Cool. Thank you, mods. Appreciate you. Aha. The radical 600-year evolution of tarot card art.
Whoa.
Look at these here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Beep. The Star, the Magician, the Fool. Well, those are cool. Look very different from the ones we saw before. And Heion G.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, thank you for your kind gift and joining us today. You study art and have a psychological counseling with the image of tarot cards. But I didn't know that you two were so interested in tarot cards. It's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone on the stream who recommended last week that we study this together. And next week, we will, or at the end of the stream, we'll determine what we'll study together next week.
Yes. Ooh.
Ooh, these are from the artist John Liesel.
What would Antoine Court de Debline think of the happy squirrel?
What would he think of the happy squirrel?
Debline was a Protestant minister born in the 18th century. He authored the multi-volume tome Le Mode Primitif, which insisted that the tarot deck contained secrets of the ancient Egyptians, whose priests had distilled their occult wisdom into the card's illustrations, imbuing them with great mystical power. Before that point, tarot was primarily a card game, meant for fun, not prophecy. It was a bold and somewhat absurd assertion, given that Debline could not read Egyptian hieroglyphs. No one could at the time, since they weren't deciphered until the 19th century. Despite a total lack of historical evidence to back his claim, the theory stuck. Tarot decks, once a novelty, became popular tools for divination after the publication of de Debline's book.
Which brings us back to the Happy Squirrel, a relatively recent addition to the tarot's major arcana, and one whose provenance is less hazy. It originated on Season 6 of The Simpsons.
What?
Lisa visits a fortune teller who is unconcerned when Lisa picks death, but gasps in horror when the next card she draws is the Happy Squirrel. When Lisa asks if the fuzzy rodent is a bad sign, the fortune teller demurs, saying the cards are vague and mysterious. Although it began as a cartoon joke, the Happy Squirrel card has made its way into over a dozen commercially available tarot decks. So, what would de Debline's reaction be? The answer depends on whether tarot is a collection of timeless mythical wisdom or a flexible framework that has endured by changing with the times. Although tarot imagery employs supposedly universal archetypes, new decks are constantly being invented and old decks altered. The art of tarot cards has never fully transcended the milieu. Which began. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry to all of our French friends. Which begs a second question. How do every time I mispronounce a word that's a French word in particular, there's like a little piece of Amelia's soul that escapes. It just goes like.
No.
Yes, it's true.
It's just that you have to have the confidence when you say it and a little bit of a yeah.
That's right. Yeah. fromage.
Yeah.
Fromage. Although tarot imagery employs supposedly universal archetypes, new decks are constantly being invented and old decks altered. How do the tarot cards' art and design relate to the social changes, technological advances, and aesthetic sensibilities of their particular eras? Very interesting. And Clean Duck, thank you very much for the love and the gift. Thank you for being here. Ooh, look at these. Go way back. This is a wealthy family's trick-taking game.
So this looks very old. So this is from an artist, Bembo Bonifacio, who lived between 1428 and 1447. And these tarot cards are from the Carey collection of playing cards.
Despite their aura of mystery, medieval tarot cards were not used for divination. They were probably not created by ancient Egyptian magicians. The earliest surviving tarot decks, now preserved in various museum collections, are Italian and were commissioned by wealthy patrons, the same way we might have hired an artist to paint a portrait or illuminated prayer book. The Visconti Sforza Tarot is a collection of decks, none complete, commissioned by Visconti and Sofra families of the workshop of the Milanese court painter Bonifacio Bembo. Cards such as Death, who rides a horse and swings a giant scythe, like a player in the world's most high-stakes polo match, will seem familiar to contemporary enthusiasts. So will the Pope, who sits on a golden throne, and the lovers who hold hands beneath the string of heraldic flags. Rather than looking at these cards for mystic guidance, the families would have used them to play a trick-taking card game. Similar to modern-day bridge, although it's unlikely, given the card's good condition of the decks, that they were ever handled with much frequency. So for those of my Pokemon friends, I don't know what we would rate these, we would grade these, but cards, contemporary cards, baseball cards, playing cards, Pokemon cards, can all be graded based off their condition. So I guess they're saying that these are in such good condition, they probably weren't used for much playing.
No.
More of an art piece.
Ooh.
Here we go. This is the 18th century.
Yes. So this is the 18th century Conver Classic. Very colorful. These are done by Nicholas Conver in 1760. And these are from the tarot cards of Marseille. So this is when the card game started to become more related to the occult and divination and fortune-telling. Produced in 1760, French engraver Nicolas Conver's deck of delicate woodcuts, the Tarot of Marseille, is the template on which many contemporary decks are based. Like the Visconti Sforza Tarot, the deck's design likely originated in the 15th century Italy before traveling north to France. It's a favorite of many tarot enthusiasts, most notably the cult film director Alejandro
Alejandro! Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, it's a knee-jerk reaction. I have to.
Yeah, who he
Tell
designed.
me why.
Anyway, let's keep looking at more pictures because that's what we wanted. Ooh, this is The New Mystics by Pamela Coleman Smith in 1937. There's definitely a pretty significant difference between. I feel like the colors are a little more muted than they were before, and it feels definitely of the time of the 30s.
Right, but it does also, I feel like a little bit of a return to this.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like the art style here is definitely reflecting back to the early cards, right?
Yeah.
The Rider-Waite-Smith deck was debuted in 1909, remaining the most recognizable and popular today. So we all feel, this is what I think of when I think of a tarot card for sure. Designed by artist Pamela Coleman Smith under the direction of the mystic A.E. Waite, it is the first to be mass-produced in English and was intended for divination rather than gameplay. So that makes sense why I would recognize this. This is the first set in English and for divination as opposed to the game. Smith and Waite were both active members of the Order of the Golden Dawn, a secretive organization devoted to the exploration of the paranormal and occult. Allegedly, Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle were also members.
Ooh, an occultist's pure geometry. Wow, this is very different looking.
All right, and I see Clean Deck is saying Rider Weight Deck is really great if you're just starting out and learning. Cool.
And Jacob Hill, thank you so much for your donation. We hope that your dad gets better soon, sending him and you positive vibes.
Yeah, sending you lots of good energy, friend, and wishing you all good health.
So, wow. So,
These are really cool.
yes.
This might be my favorite so far.
These are by Frida Harris.
Good work, Frida. The Thoth Deck, named for the ibis-faced Egyptian god more commonly known as Horus, was painted by the artist Frida Harris based on the direction of the infamous occultist about towner Aleister Crowley. Completed in the early 1940s but not widely available until 1969, it features Art Deco borders resembling the pattern of butterfly wings. Cool. The deck is an aesthetic departure. Indeed it is.
Ooh, self-help and sex in the 1970s style. Yes,
I've seen this kind of imagery too. All right.
these are by Bill Greer and Lloyd Morgan, done in 1979.
Judgment, the Star, and the Lovers. Just a quick bit on this, I guess. The 70s enthusiasm for all things New Age created a renewed interest in tarot as the tool for self-discovery, and the Morgan Greer deck was there to help greet it. The tarot card's colors are lush and the lines are fluid. Greer chose to crop his figures tightly and removed the borders, allowing the illustrations to extend to the edges. The effect is fresh and personal. Yeah, definitely a totally different image, when it's fully... I like that about it. I mean, the border is cool, because it does feel like a card, but look at these ones, not a ton of a border.
No.
And in the very beginning, only like the most similar border, but definitely a bordered card. Interesting. When it comes to card grading, as a fun fact, the balance of the border being exact measurements on either side is a big part of the print of the card and what determines its value. For all my friends with those, besides the obvious condition of the card, but the actual printing of the card makes a big difference. Here's minimalism and identity in the present day. Look at these.
Yes, very minimal. So this is by King Khan, and from the Black Power Tarot. Cool.
There's temperance.
Very
and force. Look at this. She's pulling this lion's mouth open.
Created by graphic designer Katie Forner for a Los Angeles-based fashion retailer, the Dreslian Tarot is the epitome of techno-minimalism. Although the deck is lovingly printed with high-gloss embossing, its illustrations are simple enough to be mistaken for the icon of an elegant iPhone app. It's a radical departure from the historical approach, where each card is bursting with details, signs, and symbolism. Instead, for these, each card has been pared down to the bare minimum. The Dreslin's lover image is just two slender circles bisecting a line. Its 8 of Wands is simply 8 diagonal rules. The deck's aesthetic mirrors the contemporary fear of clutter, as well as increasing simplicity of the interfaces we use every day.
Wow. I have never realized that I have a contemporary fear of clutter. That's the introspection right there. Is just whoa. I see Puppet Cur, my lovely mod, saying thank you for not spamming Detroit Become Human lines in all caps. I understand the impulse, though. I mean, if I were you, I also would need to tell me that you are Connor, the android sent by Cyberlife. I'm glad you guys are hyped. I'm glad you enjoy Detroit. Thank you so much for joining us. A Tess 28 CZ, thank you for the gift sub to what you say? What you say? Is that what that is? Gotta be. Look at these.
Yeah, very
These
simple.
are, wow, this is a totally different thing. This is really cool, though. What do you guys think of that? That's really cool. I mean, and this is, if we're talking hieroglyphics, this actually kind of feels like it goes back to that idea of hieroglyphics. That's what this feels like to me. Like it could be carved into a wall in a Indiana Jones or a Tomb Raider situation.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
These are fantastic. So that's the end of that article, but we are happy if you guys want to find more tarot cards online. You can find so many different decks, and I'm sure if you went on like Pinterest, you would just get lost in so much study with us. Next week, just like last week we picked tarot and tarot cards, this week we will determine what we'll study next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 hour earlier than whatever time it is for you right now.
Right now. So we can, you could type 1 for female inventors, 2 for pirates, 3 for ghosts, 4 for sheep, 5 for Vikings, or 6 for volcanoes.
What an interesting mix.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to write a short story about a female inventor pirate who encounters a ghost sheep while searching for Vikings on a volcano, I would be happy to read it. I love this.
Yes.
This is, you guys, what a wonderful mix of ideas. It's so cool to see what you guys are creatively inspired by. And Bet G, you listen, 1 vote per, okay? I know you. So if you'd like to help us decide where we're going to raid here, we've got 4 options up on the stream. Number 1, a stream where they are painting burbs. Number 2, Animal Crossing. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, starring Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan. And number 4, Final Fantasy. But Final Fantasy 15, you know.
You learned that there are many different types of art on the tarot cards.
And Steve Harold, welcome back for 15 months. Thank you for your support, friend. Happy squirrel.